Hi everyone, Vesna Herster here. I'm a naturopath and a coach. I want to speak to you if you've been feeling anxious, overwhelmed, worried 24/7, your mind's in thought overload, you can't relax, you're not handling stress, you're not sleeping well, maybe you're waking up 2 to 3 a.m. I want to speak to that because I know that when we have a lot of stuff happening in our life, a lot of things happening in the world around us or at our work or within our family or within our relationship, we think that the stress is coming from there and therefore we have no influence over it and we can't feel relaxed or on top of things until that passes. And the fact is that your anxiety and overwhelm and thought overload may have nothing to do with those things, okay? There's a lot going on internally with internal imbalances that can lead to anxiety and overwhelm, and there's a lot of things that we can do that can control that, okay? So when we're being stressed, whether it be for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, this chronic kind of low-grade stress, that produces stress hormones. Now, those hormones, over time, because they're so elevated, will disrupt other key systems in the body. And one of those systems is our gut, okay? Our gut, when we have too much stress hormone like cortisol, it will break down the gut lining. And it's called leaky gut. And basically, if you look at the gut lining like that, it creates these like little kind of almost holes. That's not really what it does, but it's kind of like that, right? And then things pass through, or particles pass through, which wouldn't normally get through because the lining is leaky, right? Because the lining is compromised. Now, around our gut, we have 70 to 80% of our immune system. Now, when those particles get through, it triggers the immune system. And then the immune system generates inflammation, okay? Over time with all the gut stuff, we get gut infections, it disrupts the microbiome, we don't digest and absorb our food correctly, a whole bunch of stuff, okay? But that inflammation becomes systemic. And what that means is that it's like a whole body inflammation. Now, inflammation is kind of at the seat of a lot of illnesses, okay? Now, that inflammation not only inflames the whole body, but it also inflames the brain. That's my drawing of a brain. It inflames the brain. And when that happens, it disrupts the neurotransmitters in our brain, okay? Neurotransmitters that help us to feel like everything's going to be okay, like we're calm, we can decide on things, we're quick with decisions, we've got clarity, we're not irritable or anything, we're just on top of things, okay? Stuff's happening around us, but we can deal with it. So when our neurotransmitters become disrupted, well, what happens over time is that we become anxious all the time. Our mood is quite low, we're unmotivated, maybe we're depressed, we can't get out of bed in the morning, it makes us more tired. It can lead to brain fog and memory loss. It can create a lot more cravings for sugary foods and junk foods. It can lead to addictions. It has a link with type 2 diabetes and so much more, okay? And so we need to help the brain to restore the neurotransmitters. And one of the ways we can do that is to get rid of the inflammation by repairing the gut. And this is why studies have found that if you take they did a study where they gave people yogurt, and just not even a good quality yogurt, but yogurt which had some probiotics in them to repair the microbiome. They found that people's anxiety symptoms had reduced significantly, okay? Just some yogurt. So repairing the gut will help to repair our mood. And so that way things will happen around us, but we're not going to overreact and carry things in our head all day long and all night. But in order to make sure that that's sustainable, okay, as you know, the stress hormones are breaking down the gut. They're the key things that break down the gut. So even when we start to do a lot of repair work around the gut, people may notice, but I still don't feel well, right? And it's because we need to reduce the stress hormones. And we can do that through food and lifestyle, okay? Because when you're craving, say sugar, the reason why people crave a lot of junk food when they're stressed is because sugar, interestingly enough, sugar will move us out of our kind of fear response part of our brain, the fight or flight response area, which is the lizard brain, okay? And it'll move us into the prefrontal cortex. So when we eat sugar, it actually makes us more decisive and be able to handle stress. It makes us calmer. That's why we crave it, right? But there are much better foods that we can use to decrease the stress hormones because sugar over time will create more anxiety, okay? So it really is a fine balance. But we can use other foods and habits which will reduce the stress hormones regardless of what's happening around you. So that way you can repair all the key systems, get your energy back, elevate your mood, feel more motivated, and feel like your best self. Okay, if you want to know how to do that, okay, I'm running a training and I'm really going to show you what are the quick habits that you can do over a 7-day period to restore your energy and elevate your mood by reducing these stress hormones, okay, reducing burnout, getting out of that burnout cycle, okay. This training is free. If you want to join, I'll put a link above and below this video and hope to see you there. Bye for now.